There will be no amnesty.
So-called Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals, known as DACA. It's an Obama administration executive action granting temporary legal status for immigrants who arrived in the U.S. as children.
Deferred Action program that we have, known as DACA. These are kids who were brought here by their parents. They did nothing wrong.
We will immediately terminate President Obama's 2 illegal executive amnesties.
If I didn't have DACA, I would not be able to continue practicing medicine. There are no exceptions. I'm here, the patients are here, they're sick. The day it is revoked, I have to take off my white coat. Yeah, I don't have like any days off this rotation. Like I power through the weekends and holidays aren't a thing, and come in at 6:30, get out at 9, get home, you kind of microwave yourself something and go straight to bed. I'm supposed to stay under an 80-hour work week. It's a picture of me and my mom the day before I graduated college, I think. My mother and father came from Venezuela, where there's a lot of economic distress and political distress, and they wanted a better future for me and for themselves. I was 7 years old, so we came here on a tourist visa. We overstayed the tourist visa. My mother is a babysitter and housekeeper. My father does odd jobs, worked construction. Right now, there's no path to legalization. I would like to believe that there are options. I can't think of any that are realistic other than doing what my parents do. I think about it for about 5 seconds. I find it a little unbearable to think about, and then I just forget about it because it just doesn't fit in my brain.
Although there had been undocumented students in various medical schools, a few here or there, we were the first medical school to change our admissions policy to actually welcome applications from students of DACA status. We don't want to turn back now. We want to get them down that path further and try to make it happen.
It is a huge chasm of uncertainty in terms of, imagine being 3/4 of the way through a medical degree and then just having that come to a complete halt. Because a residency program cannot hire you if you don't have work authorization. It's a big moment, and we're all kind of holding our breath and just hoping that clearer heads prevail, and that really, I think it's a matter of justice and fairness.
Without DACA, I'm at risk of losing my loans. Then, there's the questions like, if I graduate, what now? But I'm determined to finish, whether it takes me 7 years or it takes me 10 years. My interest is in primary care because I grew up where most of my community didn't have access to health care. Entonces ahorita nada más voy a escuchar su corazón y respiro normal. Y cuénteme, ¿qué es lo que hace? ¿Trabaja?
Trabajo, sí.
¿En qué trabaja?
Trabajo en un restaurante.
Okay. Okay. Si no le importa que le pregunte, ¿hace cuánto que terminó su matrimonio?
Hace 4 meses.
Hace 4 meses, muy reciente.
Sí, muy reciente.
¿Y cómo está usted?
Pues al principio sí estaba, pues como todo, ¿verdad? Ahorita pues ya. Ahí va lo sobrellevando.
A veces no nos damos cuenta, pero
sí,
las cosas que pasan en nuestra vida nos afectan seriamente en nuestra salud.
Uno dice que no.
Being undocumented in medical school, I mean, you blend in now, you're part of the crowd. But when I go back home, the possibility of not being able to finish medical school or go into residency, but having already, $150,000 in loans, all of that makes me internally a different person, even though externally I still have to show up in a white coat and be professional. It's like living a double life, right? sometimes. They teach you, if somebody says that they're in pain, you don't second guess it. You give them something for their pain, because even if they don't look like they're in pain, that doesn't mean that they're not in pain.
There are 28 medical students, Madam President, at Loyola-Stritch School of Medicine in Chicago. If they lose their work permit, they have to drop out of medical school. What happens if DACA goes away? Well, obviously they're subject to deportation. And number two, no work permit. To have these doctors, these potential doctors, diverted from this ambition because of political negligence is unacceptable. A measure we call the Bridge Act. This is an effort by Senator Graham and myself to have a bipartisan answer to the question about what happens to these 800,000 and others like them.
Will the so-called dreamers who were brought here as minors, will they be deported?
They're called dreamers because that's the most sympathetic term. Yeah. And they came here to live in the shadows. So if we enforce the law and they live in the shadows, that's what they came here to do. See, I don't think we've thought through this very well. If the kids are innocent, the parents are guilty, we have to look at the parents.
Some people don't like me saying this, but sometimes working in a lab feels similar to working in a kitchen. You end up cleaning a lot of tubes and heating them in the autoclave, so kind of similar to an oven. And it makes me wonder, like all those people that were working in kitchens, like if given the chance, how many of those people would actually have excelled working in a lab? My parents have mostly worked either in the fields or in factories processing food. Right now, many of the discussions are going to the two extremes. We're going to deport all of them, or we're going to give special treatment to these very high achievers.
Did she hear a pop when it started it all?
Escuchó como que algo tronó. If, let's say, medical students are deported, it'll make bigger news, right? And people will see that as something negative. But if you deport the normal people, I would like my parents to also be able to somehow fix their status, because they've suffered too. It's not just us dreamers or DACA students. Gracias. Muchas gracias.
I don't think it's fair that they say that, oh, the dreamers are okay, but the other undocumented people aren't. Those are my patients. Those are my future patients.
I came here in 1993. I have two kids and they were very young at that time. My son, he's a lawyer now. My daughter, Ima, she's in third year of medical school. For me, their education was very important. During education, they didn't have any immigration status. Their father left country and he was the petitioner. So their cases got affected. One time, Ima said that I have been struggling, studying, but I don't know for what, because I don't see my future. I mean, I feel, honestly, I feel very bad, but for me, this is the country and I love this country.
DACA students are immigrants that are likable or marketable to the general public, but framing so-called dreamers as being different from the rest. I don't think we are different. Because all immigrants are dreamers. We all came here because of the promise of the American dream.